Last weekend, Pastor Jim talked about the role a woman named Mary Magdalene played in the Easter story. If you missed the message, I would encourage you to go back and listen to it on Meck's app, on Meck's YouTube, or on our on-demand library on the website. Jesus had healed Mary Magdalene from her illness and brought her into his world. She was in his inner circle, and when Jesus died on the cross, she went to visit his tomb. When she arrived, she discovered there was nobody inside. She was devastated by the idea that something had happened to his body. Trying to find answers, she asked the nearest person what happened. That turned out to be Jesus. In her moment of grief, Jesus was there for her. He even called her by her Aramaic name, which was a sign of comfort. He spoke to her as a father would and reminded her that there was more to death than just saying goodbye. Death was not the end, a reminder we all need. When we look at the story of Jesus' resurrection, we see a lot of hardship and destruction. We see hopelessness and pain. However, we also see life and intense, unmeasurable love. Mary Magdalene is a great example of how in our grief, God has still found a way to bring us hope. Author Drew Hyun wrote a book called Beautiful, Disappointing, Hopeful: How Gratitude, Grief, and Grace Reflect the Christian Story. He writes about how grief and joy are both parts of his life. In fact, he argues that disappointment is an essential part of our spiritual growth. Hyun writes, "And so when it comes to disappointments, we are not to minimize pain, run from it, or pursue more of it. Instead, we are to grieve our pain in an honest way before God. In our pain, there is room for God to come in and provide us with comfort, room for him to stretch and grow us. He alone can remind us of the hope that comes next. But we have to come to him with that pain. We have to recognize that although we are not promised a pain-free life, we have a God who is there for us when the pain feels like too much. This week, reflect on how grief and joy are parts of your story. Pray over what it looks like to ask God into the painful moments with you and ask him to help you find hope when you need it most."